Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy here today to be able to share with you my journey of trying to realize the impact of my research, which is in the area of osteoporosis. So osteoporosis is a medical condition that is characterized by bones become fragile and brittle, increasing the risk of fracture. So it is estimated that 1 in 3 women and 1 in 5 men over the age of 50 are affected by osteoporosis. And in the UK, around 3 million people are living with osteoporosis, and there are 250,000 new fractures happening each year because of this. Osteoporotic fractures cause severe pain, as shown in this graph, and also significantly reduce the quality of life for patients. There is also substantial economic cost associated with this disease, estimated at £2 billion each year because of fracture for cost of NHS. So it is important to keep our bones strong during our lifetime to prevent osteoporosis. Our bones are living organs, so they adapt to the loading applied to them. For example, astronauts may lose up to 20% of their bone during only 6 months of space mission because of lack of loading of this microgravity environment. So how much loading is needed for keep our bone strong? So this is a topic of my research has been interested in. So my research has developed a method of measuring how much loading is going through our body by using the small sensors attached to the body. And also my research has established a relation of this loading, how it's related to the risk of osteoporosis. So it seems naturally the next step should be translate this research into a product that can benefit people with the risk of osteoporosis. So you may already know that there are various kinds of physical activity monitor device on the market already, such as Fitbit, such as Apple Watch. But most of these devices provide information on related to cardiovascular disease. So for example, how many steps you walked, how much calories you've burned after a certain exercise workout. So this information are actually not appropriate for bone loading. So there seems to be a huge potential for this product in the market, especially when we consider that physical activity monitoring market globally is around £50 billion each year, and is increasing fast every year. So to realize this, as an academic, I need help from someone from industry who knows product development, who knows the market, who knows business. So this is the first boundary I needed to go beyond. So luckily, I found someone whose name is Mike Crooks. So he's a senior software engineer with many years experience of product development of wearable devices. And not only does he have all this knowledge on product development, market and business, but also he has been passionate about turning my research into a product that benefits people's health. So since then, my journey has become our journey, and we also had new baby joining us, whose name is Right Step. So Right Step is actually the startup company founded by Mike. So it seems that the next natural step of our journey is to do a user research. So this is what we actually did. We did a user research to try to understand the opportunity and the market. So we interviewed a group of patients with osteoporosis to try to understand what kind of challenge and struggles they are facing, and also how Right Step might be able to help them. So from the interview, we realized that this group of patients are faced with some key struggles. So the first thing is that they were only diagnosed with osteoporosis after they had the fractures. So in other words, they didn't realize they had this disease actually until then. And then the words they told us during the interview, when they knew their diagnosis, are the words such as insult, such as furious, such as frightened. And then the other challenges that the patients are faced with is that they're keen to exercise because they want to improve their condition, and they're also advised to do so by the clinicians often. But then they are confused and they're concerned of that whether the activities are doing are at the right level, and whether they should do something else to be able to achieve their goal. So after this interview, we believe that Right Step could help them, could be because Right Step can provide them with feedback information of what level of bone loading they have achieved during physical activity, and then whether that is enough or they should be doing more. So it seems from the user interview that Right Step is having a big market, potential market, including the patients with osteoporosis, the clinicians, and also even the general public at the risk of developing osteoporosis. So then we happily went home to develop business models and also identify the channels of possible channels to the market. So it seemed at that time, Right Step was ticking all the right boxes. However, after many talks with potential investors and potential clients, we realized that there are some factors that are limiting Right Step to become a viable business. The first we realized is that it would be very difficult for Right Step to become a medical device to be adopted by NHS, to be used for patients and clinicians. A more feasible route is through the public health route, while Right Step is being used as a physical activity monitor for general public to monitor their bone loading and maintain their bone health. However, we realize that there is a significant obstacle in this route, which is that we need to educate people about the significance of bone loading and bone health. For example, the most generally accepted concept of physical activity we all know is that we need to walk 10,000 steps, not 10 steps, 10,000 steps every day to keep our health. But most people didn't realize is that the quality of the step we walk sometimes might be more important, especially, for example, on the health of bone, because our bones only respond to certain levels of intensity. So only above that intensity, that activity is doing something beneficial to the bone. However, to educate people about this would be a cost that's too significant for a startup company like Right Step. So in other words, how do we convince people that Right Step is the right tool for them to maintain bone health so that they'll be willing to buy Right Step? So how do we break this boundary? So going to space, this is the next crucial step RightStep has taken to break this boundary. So as I mentioned before, astronauts experience significant bone loss during space missions because of this microgravity environment. So it is vital for them to do all sorts of exercise in space in order to keep the bones and muscles strong. And indeed, they have been doing so during space missions, such as shown in this picture. So this is an astronaut doing exercise in the International Space Station. Obviously, it's running on a machine. It's not a treadmill. It's an adapted treadmill, adapted from the machine on Earth. So you can see that the astronaut is harnessed to the machine in order to prevent the astronaut from floating away during this running exercise. So how much loading this kind of exercise is actually put on the astronaut's bone? And is that as much as the astronaut will experience on Earth? So if not, how would the astronauts adapt this exercise in order to match that loading on Earth? To answer these questions, it is important to first measure how much loading actually this astronaut is experiencing while doing this exercise in space. But to bring this measuring equipment to space is expensive and is a significant constraint by the dimension, the weight, and also the impact that could be caused to the crews. To answer this question, RightStep seems to be the right answer because RightStep is a small wearable device that can be worn conveniently on astronauts' body during this exercise and providing feedbacks to them so they know what kind of bone loading is their experience, and then they can also use that information to adapt the exercise so that they can match the loading on Earth to make sure they get similar loading while they're on space. And because of these advantages, RightStep has been selected by the European Space Agency into the business incubation program. So this program provides the funding, the technical support, and the facility for startup companies to develop new technologies that can be beneficial both in space and on Earth. And this fits the vision and goals of RightStep perfectly because the strategy of RightStep is to use space exploration as a way to develop new knowledges and technologies on the prevention of osteoporosis and then bring them back to Earth and then benefit people on Earth. So for example, osteoporosis is a condition that takes years to develop on Earth, but in space, the bone loss is much quicker. So it's about 10 times faster than people with osteoporosis on Earth. So this provides a unique opportunity to understand how this loading can affect this bone loss. And then this could be crucial evidence to bring back to us to convince potential customers of RightStep that RightStep is the right tool for them to maintain their bone health. So although RightStep is still a startup company at the moment, but then we have a much clearer vision of its potential and how it can be achieved. It has been a great journey to work with Mike and RightStep to try to realize the impact of my research. And this collaboration enabled us to think out of the box and break boundaries. So I'm sure this collaboration will enable us to break new boundaries in the future to come. Thank you.